when can we talk to the president's doctor, and how come he hasn't been, or they haven't been asked to come out here and talk with us, given the Hur report that challenges the president's mental fitness?
So look, just to speak to the Hur report really quickly. Special Counsel Hur is, as far as I remember, is obviously a Republican, a prosecutor. He's not a medical doctor. He's just not. It's not for him to speak to. It's just not. And you've heard from over the past couple of days since the report has been out, you've heard from legal experts from across the ideological spectrum, even a former attorney general, and he says, and they have come out to say that the stuff in this report that is capturing all of your attention right now is just wrong. It's flatly wrong. It is inappropriate. It is gratuitous. And so going to leave that there, and it is obviously up for a medical doctor to decide on that.
Can we talk to his doctor then?
But look, I have said the medical doctor, the president's doctor, is going to do a physical. He's going to, and he has always put forth in the last 2 years a detailed memo on the president's obviously medical physical, and so I'm just going to leave it there. I don't have anything else to add. Go ahead.
Boy. So once again, we got some comedy to react to featuring cringe Jean-Pierre. And yes, I know I have covered this subject quite a bit over the last few days, but for the life of me, I just cannot figure out why is it that cringe believes that it's a good idea to continue this media tour trying to sell a book that nobody's going to read, and she's guaranteeing that nobody's going to buy the book because during this media tour, she's making it very clear to the American people that there will be no truths that will be told in her book, right? If she can't be straight with the American people about Biden's mental decline that the world saw, that the American people saw, then why would anybody read the book, right? Like, what am I actually going to get out of this book outside of more BS, okay? And you know it's BS when BS now, MSNBC is calling BS on cringe Jean-Pierre and this idea that she had no idea that Biden was mentally declining, right? That she didn't see it, okay? Biden was as sharp as ever, despite the fact that she worked with this guy every single day. She saw the president every single day, and she claims that he was fine. Now, again, I don't know why is it that she's rolling with this. Maybe she's trying to protect Biden. Maybe Jill Biden, Hunter Biden, maybe they're paying her to do this, right? I don't know what it is, but she really is embarrassing herself on national television, continuing to do these interviews, because again, when BS now is calling BS on your propaganda, you know it's bad, okay? And she's been embarrassed in almost every interview that she's done. It doesn't matter what platform. It doesn't matter if there's a lefty host, okay? Doesn't matter. This woman is just humiliating herself on a daily basis at this point. And again, this interview with MSNBC is particularly bad because MSNBC is going to suggest that she apologized to Robert Hur, the special prosecutor that interviewed Joe Biden over his classified document scandal that he should have been charged for, by the way. But he interviewed Biden and said that, yeah, Biden is not doing well, right? He was not doing well. And cringe Jean-Pierre and Kamala Harris as well, too, came out and smeared Robert Hur as a liar, said that the report was gratuitous. And because of that, Robert Hur has had some issues with employment, okay, due to the fact that Democrats ruined his career. So again, MSNBC is actually going to do some decent questioning here of cringe Jean-Pierre, and you can tell how stunned she is, right? She is in disbelief that BS now would actually challenge her on her BS. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this.
Well, that's going to be incredibly tough to make that
Karine,
happen.
just quickly before you go, since you were talking about the difference in being at the podium and then now in your personal capacity, the special counsel Robert Hur, when his report came out about President Biden and the classified documents, you stood from the White House podium February 2024, and you said that his commentary was gratuitous, that it was unacceptable, and it didn't live in reality. And clearly the American public saw another side of Joe Biden's mental acuity during the summer's debate. Robert Hur was unemployable for a period because of the attacks from the Democrats and from the White House that you were at the podium leading. Have you apologized to Robert Hur?
I mean, look, what I can say to you
is I saw the president every single day. It wasn't one-offs. It wasn't once in a while. I saw him every day.
Well,
he is someone that was sharp.
Case, have you gone back to someone who you had pretty sharp comments about, and we all saw a different reality in your personal capacity?
What I'm saying is my reality was this. My reality was somebody that I saw every single day who was sharp, who pushed his team, was understanding very clearly of the policy of history. That is what I saw. I could only speak for what I saw on a daily basis for 2.5 years, almost 4 years, actually. And I was White House press secretary, obviously, for 2.5 years. And that is the president that I know. Someone who woke up every day and was very zeroed in and focused on how to deliver for the American people. And that's what I'm speaking to, is what I saw every day. And look, there's not many people who can say, oh, you know, they saw that. They saw somebody every day like the president of the United States and was able to speak for him. I'm able to do that. I was his White House press secretary.
Wow. Absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. Okay, absolutely incredible. Again, this woman lacks self-awareness. She's so not aware that she does not realize that the reason why she continues to get this question over and over and over again, and the reason why even the liberal media is pressing her on this, is because nobody believes her, right? It's honestly unbelievable that this woman continues to claim that she worked with Biden every single day and she didn't notice anything at all, right? Nothing was wrong with Biden. He was sharp, according to her. Now, again, this is just particularly bad considering how, again, Robert Hur interviewed Biden. He interviewed Biden, and doing his interviews with Biden, okay, he didn't see Biden every single day, but in the interviews that he did with Biden, okay, he noticed that something was wrong with Joe Biden. Now, again, at the time, remember, Democrats smeared this man as a liar, right? As somebody working on behalf of Republicans in order to undermine Joe Biden, right? And the Democrat. This is what they said. It was Kamala. It was Karine, Jean-Pierre. It was all of them.
I have been privileged and proud to serve as Vice President of the United States with Joe Biden as President of the United States. And what I saw of that report last night, I believe is, as a former prosecutor, the comments that were made by that prosecutor, gratuitous, inaccurate, and inappropriate. So the way that the president's demeanor in that report was characterized could not be more wrong on the facts and clearly politically motivated, gratuitous. And so I will say that when it comes to the role and responsibility of a prosecutor in a situation like that, we should expect that there would be a higher level of integrity than what we saw.
What is in the rules, Mr. Hur, what is in the rules is you don't gratuitously do things to prejudice the subject of an investigation when you're declining to prosecute. You don't gratuitously add language that you know will be useful in a political campaign. You were not born yesterday. You understood exactly what you were doing. It was a choice. You certainly didn't have to include that language. You could have said vis-a-vis the documents that were found at the university, the president did not recall. There is nothing more common. You know this. I know this. There is nothing more common with a witness of any age when asked about events that are years old to say, I do not recall. Indeed, they're instructed by their attorney to do that if they have any question about it. You understood that. You made a choice. That was a political choice. It was the wrong choice. Mr. Chairman, I yield back.
Gentleman yields back. The gentleman from Arizona. Did Special Counsel wish to respond to that final question?
Yes, Congressman. What you are suggesting is that I shape, sanitize, omit portions of my reasoning and explanation to the Attorney General for political reasons.
No, I suggest that you not shape your report for political reasons, which is what you did.
That did not happen, Congressman. That did not happen.
I wonder what pasture he will walk off into.
I don't know.
Just kind of wander off and say, well, you know, and Joe Biden, I noticed he didn't really tie his tie well. The tie knot suggested that maybe he has arthritis in his left thumb.
Where are you going with this?
I'm just saying this guy says such random shit about
Joe, stop.
Stop. He's a kindly old man who could not remember his son's birthday. Like, he wandered off into a pasture here and, maybe Arnold the Pig led him there. I don't know. No, you should apologize for her because
I shouldn't have asked.
I don't know exactly. Like, does he hope he gets a judgeship? I think he does. Yeah. I think he hopes he gets a judgeship. If Donald Trump gets elected again, he's trying out because he humiliated himself with that display.
Jackie Alamany has actual reporting on this.
Hur's assessment of Biden's mental fitness. Is that out of bounds? Should that have been in there?
That is out of bounds. I mean, he's not a doctor.
I don't think that Hur is a good faith actor, and I think that 345 pages of that show that. I mean, he's not a neurologist, right? Hur is not a neurologist. He's not a doctor.
Mr. Hur, as far as I know, is not a neurologist or a geriatric doctor.
I found some of the language in the report a little bit gratuitous.
The word of the day when this report came out to describe the descriptions was gratuitous.
A very gratuitous hypothetical about Biden's age.
I think the word gratuitous is generous. There was so much unnecessary, inflammatory, and partisan kind of language that was used about President Biden in there.
Do you think Hur editorialized?
Oh, he definitely did. That report needed an editor.
This kind of editorializing is unusual, peculiar. Frankly, there's just no role for it.
Hur proceeded to editorialize ad nauseum about Biden's mental acuity, delivering right-wing talking points up on a platter.
Hur was there to determine whether or not Biden had committed a criminal offence, not whether or not the president is senile. So why extend beyond his remit if it's not politically motivated?
There's a Justice Department tradition that you don't interfere with presidential elections. This seems like the height of interference. It's gratuitous.
These really unnecessary points.
That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah.
Unnecessary.
That was not merely a special counsel's report. That was Robert Hur's audition tape to be Donald Trump's attorney general if Trump manages to win in November. And that's exactly the way the Democrats need to frame this. This was politically motivated, and they need to confront it directly.
Yeah. So, Jean-Pierre must have pissed in somebody's Cheerios, okay? She must have pissed off somebody in the Democratic establishment, because if MSDNC, if BS Now, if they're going to be demanding apologies for ruining this man's career, okay, they should be requesting apologies from people on their own network. They should be requesting apologies from Joe Scarborough, Mika Brzezinski, all the other propagandists that show up on their network, from sitting Democrat politicians like Adam Schiff and others. Yeah, if you're going to do this to Jean-Pierre, and she 100% deserves it. Don't get me wrong. She deserves it. But it's not just her, right? If you're going to be pressing her on this, you need to be pressing a lot of Democrats on this, because they all participated in smearing this man, even though he was right, okay? So, again, I think that Jean-Pierre definitely pissed somebody off, considering how she is being grilled on every single network that she goes on to talk about this book. She is being embarrassed, and it gets worse. It gets worse.
I was called into the Oval Office on a daily basis. I traveled with him for 95% of the time. And so I'm speaking for myself here. I'm speaking for what I saw. And that was why I pushed back.
Yeah, I don't understand why is it that she doesn't see why people aren't buying into this, right? I don't understand it. And Robert Hur could see it from just a few interviews, right? If he could notice it from a few interviews, why didn't she know it? Again, her judgment is either extremely bad, which means she's really dumb, right? Or she's a liar, okay? I think it's both. I think it's both. And again, if she's lying about this, then she's just one of the worst liars ever, and that she does not care about her own reputation. She does not care about the fact that she is ruining her own career, right? With the fact that she continues to lie about this, okay? Nobody is going to want to be associated with somebody like this who will just flat out lie about things that were obvious to even the average person in this country. But then again, MSNBC is still employing Joe Scarborough, right? Joe Scarborough said Biden is the sharpest that he's ever been. And if you don't believe that, then F you. MSNBC, if they had any credibility, they should fire Joe Scarborough. But the fact that they still have Joe Scarborough employed at their network, It kind of makes this grilling of Karine Jean-Pierre kind of seem like, again, Karine Jean-Pierre just pissed somebody off, right? Somebody is pissed off with Karine Jean-Pierre. That is the only explanation I have for why is it that she is being destroyed in every single interview that she's doing.
That was why I pushed back.
So now that you are speaking for yourself, Karine, do you have any regrets at all for anything that you said while you were speaking on behalf of this administration?
Look.
It's a simple yes or no.
No, because you're asking for a yes or no question. I want to put some context to it too. I woke up every day. I woke up every day very proud to be the White House press secretary. I woke up every day as a Black woman who is queer, who no one had ever seen someone like me at that podium standing behind that lectern. It was an honor and a privilege to have that job. And I did it to the best of my abilities. And I spoke for the President of the United States, a person that I believe was a decent person. We did not get everything right. No one is saying we got everything right. No one is saying that we got everything right. No one is saying that. But we did it to our best of our abilities, and I worked very hard to do that job.
Wow. You know it was bad when she pulled a race card, right? And the queer card, and the woman card, right? She pulled all her Infinity Stones of wokeness to deflect from that question, right? Wow, I can't believe they asked her that question. Do you regret anything that you said? Basically, what he asked is that, do you regret lying on behalf of the Biden administration? That's really what he asked her, right? That's why she tripped up. That's why she was so stunned after he asked the question, because, again, it's a good question. Do you regret lying on behalf of the Biden administration? Is there anything, all the lies that you told, right? Do you regret that? How do you live with yourself? Do you have a soul, right? Incredible. Absolutely incredible. So, again, I just can't believe that Karine is continuing with this. I don't know who her advisor is. I don't know who her PR person is. But, man, if I was her PR person, I'd tell her, listen, it ain't worth it. It ain't worth it. She must be doing this because it has to be a part of her obligation, right, for, I guess, the publisher of the book to have her do these interviews, right, in order to sell the book. So she probably has to do it. But at this point, is it even worth it, right? Is it worth it ruining your credibility and your reputation? I mean, let's be real. Her credibility was already shot before, right? But, I mean, now it's just, it's bad. It's real bad. Again, with MSNBC, it's calling BS, right? So, I don't understand why she continues to do this, but I just think that she's making it worse. She's digging herself in a deeper and deeper hole. She looks very silly, continuing to lie on behalf of the Biden administration, even though she now is a private citizen, right? She's speaking personally, and she can't even be truthful about it now. And again, she's not working for the administration. She's not a paid propagandist anymore. And the fact that she just continues to gaslight like this, it's embarrassing. It really is. But like I said, Democrats will continue to be asked this question about Joe Biden. It's not going away. It's going to continue to be a thing because it is a basic question to gauge whether or not a politician is willing to acknowledge basic truths. If you cannot be straight with me about Joe Biden, okay, about his mental decline, then how can I believe you on anything else? But then again, you know, this is the party that can't be straight with the American people about what a woman is. So I'm not surprised they can't be straight with the American people about Biden's mental decline. It's just par for the course when it comes to Democrats. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.